Alright guys, I already uploaded this video once, but when I went to watch it, I discovered that the very last clip was missing from the back of it. The When I went to go, when it was time for the Reway ticket clip, where I was talking about the Reway ticket, it was missing. So, and that's pretty much the end of the video. It's just a couple minutes, but it's important information for you guys to see. So I need to include that in there. So I'm gonna have to make sure that that clip is in there, save it, and then re-upload this video, and then I'm going to delete the old one, and this one's going to have a parentheses in front of it as reloaded or re-uploaded or something like that in front of it. So there you go. So here's the video re-uploaded.
Hi guys, Jason here, Jason's Trucking Info, and I'm back to making videos. It's been about a year, and as you see, I'm working at K&B Transportation now. I've been here for about a month and a half now, roughly, and working pulling reefer now. I'm back to making videos on how to be a truck driver, and running reefer is going to give me opportunities to do videos I wasn't able to do before. Sliding tandems is going to be this video. So anyhow, stick with the video and you're going to learn a few things about sliding tandems. I'm going to get over here and show you a few things, and then I'll show you the video I did the other night when I actually had to slide tandems, and you'll hopefully learn it. This video is directed more so to the guys that are new and trying to learn about how to slide tandems. If you've been driving for a while, you should already know this stuff and probably be able to fill in the gaps of anything I didn't say or anything I might have said wrong. So I hope that any of you experienced drivers will get in the comments and maybe correct anything I might have said wrong, or add to anything that I have said, so that the people watching this video trying to learn how to be a truck driver can learn. That's what these videos on my channel are about. It's about teaching people who don't know better, how to show them what to do. So I'll go back here and talk about a couple simple things, and the rest of it will pretty much be covered on the footage from the other night when I was at the Love's Truck Stop. So anyhow, I'm at Beloit, Wisconsin at the Flying J, pretty much right off of exit 1, I believe. And I'm gonna bring the camera back here to the end of the trailer, and I'm gonna talk about a couple of things. Alright guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys about where the 40 mark is. That is basically the California setting on a semi-trailer. You should already be learning this in school. This is Bridge Law 101, and normally if you can set your trailer for the 40 mark, the California setting, most generally that is going to be good enough to go anywhere around the country. There's only a couple of exceptions, I think, but you should be safe. If you can have legal weight limits where you don't go over your 34,000 pounds on your trailer tandems or your drives, or 12 on your steers. Alright guys, set your trailer tandems correctly. This mark represents 10 feet from the back of the trailer. Okay, this is 10 feet. So you got got a 53-foot trailer going 10 feet from the back. That means this is almost the California setting. It goes to the rear axle, okay? So this very last rear tire So the very last rear tire, if you look, taking them both in the scene here. Okay, there's the mark, very tip of the arrow, and it needs to come up just a little bit to be perfect with the axle. Some people like to set it so the edge of the tire is on it, but as long as you're got the arrow right on the axle, which this is off about a foot, maybe a foot and a couple inches, and then it would be set for California, the 40 mark. Okay, so if you got 10 feet from the back, that puts you at 43 feet from the tip of the trailer. Well, if it's at the 40 mark, where's that other 3 feet coming into play? It is the rear axle of your drives, and so you want 40 feet from your rear axle of your drives to the rear axle of your trailer tandems. That is what bridge lock is. It's the width between those two axles for turning and stuff. And so that bridge law is also, it has to do with not only turning, but also has to do with weight distribution when going over bridges. Okay? So if you got a heavy load, the weight is being dispersed more evenly, so hopefully when you're going over mainly smaller bridges, it doesn't mess up those bridges and collapse, because some smaller bridges can't handle as much weight like your interstate bridges that are designed for massive amounts of weight that semis go over constantly. Several of them will be on there. In fact, several semis could probably stop on one of those major interstate bridges, and they do, without them even being room. It's mainly for the smaller bridges and the tight turns that exist in some of the states around the country. That's what the bridge law really has to do about. The bridge is because of the keeping the weight disbursement, so there's not such much concentrated weight on any one spot on the trailer, so you don't collapse a trailer because you're so heavy while going over it. That's what that has to do.
Alright guys, I messed up a little bit on this next clip explaining bridge law, and bridge law has to do with weight distribution and not tearing up roads and bridges, so that trucks are not having as much concentrated weight on one area of the truck. So instead of having the full 80,000 pounds or plus with some trucks, depending on the trucks, it is distributed out and balanced, so you're not weighing down on the roads and bridges and different surfaces that you drive on and tearing things up. It also helps with turning and stuff like I talk about in here, but I kind of messed up explaining that it really has to do with weight distribution and not tearing up road surfaces and things like that. Has a lot to do with it.
Each one of these holes represents 2 to 250 pounds, maybe 300, but somewhere between 2 and 250 pounds. That's how much you will shift the weights across your different tandems by sliding this. And usually you'll only be able to slide your trailer tandems, but some trucks are set up so that you can slide the fifth wheel plate as well. But most companies keep that kind of welded solid or have those bolted in place so that the drivers aren't messing with those, especially if they have reefer units and stuff like that. They kind of just set it in that one certain spot. So they do that so the drivers aren't messing up the tractors and the nose of the trailers and stuff, and just leave it up to drivers to put the settings of these and disperse their weights, and this is usually good enough. But being able to slide the fifth wheel plate up and down to change how much space there is between the back of the sleeper berth and the nose of the trailer to increase space for weight distribution and whatever else you're trying to do with that is kind of could be considered advanced level in some ways. But usually most companies you're going to drive for, you're only going to be able to slide the trailer tandems. There's different devices, okay? So, such as this little doohickey here. Now, in order to make this work, there's a button here, okay? Now, you gotta have your truck running and you gotta have your brakes set, which means that trailer knob, the red line, the red knob, needs to be pulled out, and then you can come back here and this style is air actuated, and you just push this all the way in, and the pins back there, that pin and the other one, there's 4 pins, 2 on each side, okay? And they're gonna try to come in, but you're probably gonna be riding against them, so you're gonna have to go kind of barely jostle the truck. Don't rock the truck real violently unless you have to. Sometimes you gotta be violent a little bit, but don't do it too bad or you could mess stuff up, but most generally you gotta be a little rough with it. But push that in, those pins are going to pop in, okay? Then they're going to come inside, and then these holes are going to be open. Then you got to go up front, and then you got to either go forward or back depending on which way you're trying to adjust your weight. And then when you're done, you got it where you want, you pull this knob back out, and the pins are going to try to pop back out, okay? You're going to try to pop back out the holes to set in place. But if you're not aligned, you're going to have to go backwards or forwards until they pop in. Then you got to come out with a flashlight. During daylight, you might be able to see these. Right now, you could. But sometimes it's still too dark, even daylight. But right now, we can see them really good. At night, you're definitely going to need a flashlight to shine in there to make sure on both sides that 2 pins on each side are popped out so that it's in place. Otherwise, you're going to cause yourself problems, trust me. Alright guys, if you want to know where that 40 mark is, if you have a trailer that doesn't have an arrow on it, telling you where that 40 mark is, get you a tape measure, you measure 10 feet. See where this arrow is? Right here is 10 feet. So 10 feet, 3 inches. So this is a couple inches off, but it's close enough. But 10 feet, which means I'm about probably 6 to 8 inches off of the 40 mark. I go by the 10 feet. So if you want to know where the 40 mark is, get you a tape measure. That That's how you'll know where your 40 mark is if you don't have an arrow. Or if you're not sure if the arrow is in the right place, that's also what you can do. Hi guys, Jason here, Jason's Trucking Info. And if you've never been here before, this channel is all about teaching truck drivers how to be better truck drivers by showing the different things that truck drivers have to do on the job, like maybe sliding your tandems. Here in a little bit, I gotta leave here and I gotta go over to the Love's gas station and I gotta scale my load. My tandems are all the way to the back right now, and I'm most likely gonna have to move them forward. So one of the things to remember with that is every hole represents about 200 to 300 pounds depending on the trailer. The average trailer, it's about 200 pounds a hole. Me, I just kind of guesstimate. I can kind of tell by how much weight is on one trailer axles to the other, whether or not I need to go a lot or a little forward. Like the other night, I just had to move a couple of holes. I went a little more than that, but it worked out perfect. When you're not going to California, usually you can get away with having your trailer tandems just about anywhere you want, as long as your axle weights are legal, as long as all your axle weights are under 34. And I always recommend getting fuel beforehand, unless you know you got extremely heavy load, like well over 40,000 pounds. Like if you got a 44,000 pound load, you might want to hold off on fueling. If you got plenty of fuel, sometimes you gotta run with half the fuel just to make weight, to stay under the legal weight. Okay? Most of the time that won't be necessary, but you will have loads where that is necessary. So most of the time I haven't had to worry about it. I think my biggest weight so far has been like 41,000 and some change, and I was able to make weight. I fueled up my truck first. I topped off my fuel tanks, my DEF, and my reefer tank, and then I went on the scale. One time I kind of did it backwards. I got on the scale first, went fueled, and then got my scale ticket, and then went and got back on the scale after I changed my tandems, because I was light enough that my weights were off. I knew they were going to be off, but I knew I was going to be legal. All right, make sure packing them up in here. It's tight. Let's see if I can get around all these people. Okay. So my windshield's really dirty. Alright. Gotta scale this load. This load is light enough, I almost don't even think I need to scale it. Hopefully you guys can hear me good enough with the camera faced the other direction. Alright. Gotta pull up a little more. See, I usually like to try to get pulled up right about there. Puts me right in line with them buttons there. Alright. Gotta hit the button, wait for them. Those buttons don't have any give on them, so you don't even know if you've got pushed in. First way.
Truck number?
80815.
80815. I got you. See inside.
All right, thank you. All right. Now we got to pull around, probably to the fuel island because there's no other place to park. Best I can do right now. Let's get off the scale.
You have 7 hours and 41 minutes of remaining drive time.
We gotta go pull all the way around. And at this Love's, they got a big old mechanic building and everything. They are packed. Hey, there's a spot right there. Look at that spots. Tell it is a friggin' zoo here at this Love's in Springfield, Ohio. Going to be changing my tandems just for the fact that I don't like running with my tandems all the way to the back because it makes it harder to make turns and stuff. Those of you that do enough driving know that having your tandems all the way to the back in the semi sucks. Makes it a pain in the butt to go around sharp turns, especially. You got to make wider turns when you do that. And I could have gotten fuel first, but I'm not really low enough to worry about. I'll worry about that up the road piece. I'm pretty full on fuel. I'm 3/4 of a tank, mostly full on DEF, and my reefer tank is almost completely full. So I really don't need to get fuel. So I'm gonna stay here because I don't want anybody to pull behind me just yet. Sometimes you gotta do this stuff. Yeah, I should pull ahead into that pay island, but I'm not going to, for the simple fact that if I pull up, someone's probably gonna pull behind me, probably too close, and I need to change my tandems, and it'll be easier to do my tandems in the fuel island than it will be pulled ahead. Now I might pull ahead and then try to do it, but someone always pulls behind me and they always pull up too close. When I'm trying to go backwards with the trailer, no matter, even if I pull up farther ahead, every time they just pull up too close. So, all right. So I gotta change, go off duty, and now I'm gonna go inside and get my skill ticket, and I'll be right back out. Alright guys, I got my skill ticket. My weights are awesome. My total weight is like a little over 21, almost 22,000. So I wasn't worried about my weight being overweight, but this is a Catskill ticket. If you see these weights, my steer axle, drive axle, and trailer axle, those weights are good, but my axle, my trailer tandems are all the way to the back. And most of my weight, I got a lot more weight on my drive axles, which means if I move my tandems forward where I would like them to be so I can make turns and stuff easy, I can move my tandems forward, and I'm not going to hurt my weights at all no matter what I do. I can move them wherever I want with these weights, which is ideal. I do have to worry a little bit about pushing too much forward for my steer because I'm only 300 away from 1200. 1200 is the max in your steers, so I do got to be a little careful about that. I'm not really worried too much about that. I'm more worried about pushing my trailer tandems up a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. See how my tandems are all the way slid back? Right there. Which makes it gonna make me have to make really wide turns. So what I want to do is go right here, and every truck is a little different. But with this one, so you got those pins like right there. There's a pin right there. And down there, there's another one. See that? I got both the pins in view. Now watch, I'm gonna push up on this, and it's gonna cause those to go in, maybe. All right. So now I gotta go shake the trailer and make it have the pins go in more. There's 2 pins on either side of the trailer, just like this, just like that. It's okay. All right, so the reason I did not pull forward is for this very reason. This is a busy truck stop, and I'm trying to do this quickly and do this video. So I don't pull forward because I know some idiot's gonna come get behind me and be too close. And there's just little tricks like this that you know that if you pull forward, what you're supposed to do is to pull forward for courtesy. But if you do it, other truck drivers are gonna get in your way. And before someone does try to get impatient, get in the way, I'm gonna put my headlights on, put all my hazards on, and then what you gotta do is, let's see if I can multitask here. What you gotta do is, you gotta shake the trailer. And you might not be able to hear it, but you gotta open up your window. You gotta leave your trailer brakes in. This won't work. That knob back there that I pushed into the trailer will not work if your trailer brakes, or if that red knob is pushed in. You gotta have it out so your brakes are set, or that knob won't work. Then you push your yellow knob in, and you basically gotta rock the truck a little bit to get those pins to go the rest of the way in. So rock the truck. There you go, I heard the click. Now you gotta go forward. Now when you're doing this by yourself, you gotta definitely pay attention. You gotta like guess, because it's hard to tell. There's little things you can do, like you can put things on the ground that aren't gonna get blown away by wind or something, or whatever. You can look at the ground, like find a stain on the ground and watch it if you want. But I'm not that critical of what I got to do here. You sometimes got to push really hard, and then it will start going back. And if I had a camera person that could go with the camera, they could be out there explaining this stuff while you're watching this stuff happen. So let's go see how far back I have these tandems now. All right, you're gonna see this is real different now. They're up forward enough. I might want to go just a little bit more. I want to be careful. I don't want to put too much weight on my steers. I don't want to put too much weight on my steers, but I want to go a little bit back. Just a little bit more. Okay, that's probably good. I probably moved more than I thought. It doesn't feel like you've gone far, but sometimes you've gone really far. So you gotta, when you're doing this by yourself, you gotta kind of inch it and play around with it, get out several times and look. If you have a co-driver, they can get out and help you. They can watch for you and they can tell you when to stop and stuff. But I'm a solo driver, so I gotta do this all on my own. So this is how you do this solo. All right, that's more like where I want to be. I just gotta hope that I didn't boost it too far up and put weight on my steers up there. Everything else is gonna be legal. It's just my steers I gotta worry about going over, but I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about it. So when you think you got it about where you want, I didn't bring my flashlight this time, but you just pull this back out. Those pins are gonna try to come out, but the holes need to line up before the pins will come back out. So you gotta go push back or forward and listen for those snap. Then you gotta come out and make sure your pins are in place. All 4 of them. You gotta make sure all 4 of your pins are in place after you do this. So I'm going to pull forward. All right, I heard the click. I heard the click. Okay. Now we gotta get out. You gotta double check with the flashlight, especially at nighttime. Even daytime, you gotta use a flashlight to check. So let's go look. All right, take your fancy swing to your hand, flashlight. Make sure there's pin number 1 and pin number 2. They're both out. And you gotta look at the other side too. Okay, pin number 1 and pin number 2, both out. Okay. Now we gotta pull around to the scale again and do a reweigh. Make sure that we didn't put any weight on that steers to put us over. I gotta remember that I gotta put fuel in later. So look there, I'm full on DEF. I got 3/4 tank of fuel, so I'm pretty full, and I'm mostly full on my reefer, so I'm not too worried about that adding too much weight. So all right, let's go pull around to the scale. Alright guys, I'm back at the scale. Now, when you go to do your reweigh, they're going to look for this 4-digit number on the bottom, this 3081, which is the last 4 of the total ticket number on the top left. So that's what they're going to want when you do your reweigh. Okay, and then you go back in and you do your reweigh. So let's see how that differs from this. Let's see. Well, after my weights are now, let's see what they are after I just move in the tandems. Reweigh.
4 digits, bottom left corner.
3081.
Alright, I got you. I'll see you inside.
All right, thank you. And now we get to pull around and go get our new scale ticket and see if our weights are better moved around. They're all legal. The only reason I wanted to change them is because of where my axles are. So let's go pull around to the fuel island again and see. When I come back to you, I'll show you my new scale ticket to see how that changed it. Now remember, each hole usually represents around 200 pounds. Now, I don't know how many holes I moved in because I can't see where I was at. I didn't count them, and I just guesstimate and hope I don't have to do a second relay, a third scale ticket. So, and I haven't had to do that yet. I am very rusty at all this, but I'm doing quite well at it, being back at it for only a month and a half. Hauling mail and stuff. I didn't have to worry about it because it was so light that we never had to worry about it being overweight. The only thing we were ever overweight on was steers. And that's because of those deer guards they put on them there. And those deer guards are nice for deer, but they tend to put trucks overweight on the steers. And some states don't enforce it that hard. As long as you're not too far over, they don't worry about it too much. But yeah, so let's get parked here at the fuel island and go back in and get a scale ticket. Alright, that was my first weigh. That's what my weights were then. See if I can get these next to each other. Now this one up top is my new weights. I only gained about 40 pounds moved over onto the steers. Let's see. How can I get these to where you can see them both? Look at the difference. That is awesome. And my tandems will move forward. That's pretty much full on fuel. I could have topped them off, but I'll get fuel later. So anyway, I gotta get going. But that's how you do this stuff. And Catskill tickets are the bomb. If you ever having discrepancies on that, Catskill will literally fight for you to do that. So that's kind of how you go about doing it when you're solo. So remember, each hole represents about 200 pounds depending on the truck, and there are some differences in some trailers. Not all gizmos work the way mine does on the trailer for the pins. Some of them are manual. I remember when I first started driving, they were manual pulls, kind of like the fifth wheel pull, and they didn't stay closed. They didn't stay they didn't keep the pins open. You had to literally go every single hole because the thing wouldn't stay retracted while you moved to the hole you wanted, and then do it. So this is a lot easier. This air actuated crap that they got on these trucks is so much easier. So anyway, I gotta take off, gotta call my wife, do all that kind of thing, and I gotta get on the road and get this thing there on time. So wanted to share that with you. All right, thanks guys. Oh, make sure you hit the bell, hit the like. Okay, let me redo that. Hit the like, smash that like button, leave any comments or questions, and hit the subscribe button, and what else? Hit the bell. And there's something else I'm supposed to say there, but I can't remember because my brain's focused on getting down the road and calling my wife. So I'm gonna let you go. Peace out, and hope you enjoyed the video. Later.